So for the next step, we will take off the 2 bolts holding this metal plate on. So there's one on this side and one on this side. So because we took that thin plate off the back, we've now got access to these bolts here, so we can take those ones off to disconnect this sensor here from the sump. And now we can go along and undo all the bolts around the edge of the sump end. Now as you can see here, there's unfortunately just not quite enough movement to get this sump pan out. So unless you're going to remove the gearbox, this is what you've got to work with. So what you need to do is take off the oil pickup tube. So there's a bolt, there'll be one there, and then these ones at the front are really tricky to get to. You have to maneuver the sump back as far as you can and come at it from over this side. But yeah, those ones there. But now you've got them separated, you can have a good clean up of the surfaces and get ready for the new gasket. Alright, now we've got that sump all cleaned up and we've got the block all cleaned up. It's time to put it back together. Now unfortunately we can't stick the oil pickup tube on and then put our gasket material around on the sump and then just stick it up. It needs to go back on the way that it came off, which is putting this together with the sump sort of half attached underneath there, and then putting the sump gasket maker around the edge of the sump while it's sitting up there. So I'll do that and then I'll show you what that looks like. Alrighty, so we've got the sump just sitting up there. The oil pickup tube is sitting in the bottom of the sump, and I've just got a tiny piece of tape. And here's a view of the tape that was holding that gasket on. So just a really small piece of cloth tape and just enough to hold the gasket up until the oil pickup tube was stopping it from falling off. I'm going to attempt now to put the oil pickup tube on without dropping that gasket, and I'll show you how that goes. Alrighty, so by maneuvering the oil pickup tube from this bigger end where there's a bit more access, I was able to thread it onto the 2 little studs down the bottom there, and it's picked up the gasket, and then I've just put 1 bolt in here to hold it for now, and now I can go around and put the other ones on and then tighten them up. Alrighty, now that oil pickup tube's back on properly, all 4 bolts tightened up, I'm going to go around the surface once more and just clean off any oily residue that might have gotten on there from my fingers while I was fitting this. Alrighty, so this is the sump back on. We've got the RTB silicone in there, and I've followed the instructions on mine just to do it up a little bit for now so it squares a bit out, and then leave it for an hour, and then I'll torque it to the correct spec. So we've just got that plate to go back on after those are tightened up. So it's the 1 bolt there, 1 bolt there, and then the supports on each side, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the same on the other side. Obviously remember to put an oil filter back in if you've taken that out. And this electrical connector here needs to go back on when you put this support back on, so 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then this connector here, go back on and put oil in, and then you're done.